But no, man, excited about today. To what looks like is going to be the number one group in the Sun Belt. Uh, that's something that y'all know me. I don't always care about, or I've never really cared about. But as we kind of closed down this thing and got to it, I guess I will admit that it is kind of a neat deal. It's something y'all would have to research. I don't think we've done in quite some time is have the number one recruiting class in our conference. Uh, Coming off a football season where we didn't win the amount of games that we wanted to win, and we made some changes in our staff. I think to do that speaks volumes of a lot of things that have been talked about. Number one, our culture and the way we treat our own players. Our own players really help in recruiting. Uh, the reputation we have built around the Southeast through many years of how we're going to treat their players when they come here obviously has shown out too. To be able to sign a class like this, again, under the circumstances we were under, just speaks volume of our coaching staff and also of how we've built this place up. I've never wavered from the fact that this third recruiting class was going to be pivotal and crucial to stack on top of our other two classes. And now we've got three in here. Y'all know we've probably got more returning players than anybody in the country, maybe, and which has been big. And we've got to win, and we're excited about going into next year. This has kind of been the target year, the whole point. And this group today is huge. We're not quite done. We've got 5 to 6 to 7 more spots, depending on how it fluctuates, left for mid-year. We would like to enroll between 25 and 30 kids at mid-year. That's been our goal the whole time. I think that's going to happen when you include scholarships and walk-ons. So we should have a lot of competition this spring, and it's been awesome to see. Credit to Joe Marino, our director of player personnel, Reed Stringer, our general manager, and then our whole staff in recruiting, particularly. Desmond Lindsay and Dwight Wilson, I'll give them two shout outs, especially. They were incredible through this process, along with Joe and everybody, even our young guys. Like we had some young guys, man, like Terry Ondora and Ben Thomas, who got to get out on the road for the first time. And they were incredible through this recruiting process. So awesome job by our staff, the organization of it, and then awesome job by our players. An awesome job of what we've built here from a reputation standpoint to get this done. And it's something to be proud of. And, so with that, I'll open it up.
Coach, could you speak a little bit about meeting need and still some need that you feel you need to fill before, semester starts?
Yeah. So number one, man, I'm just going to go both sides of the ball. Okay. We'll start with offense. Getting John White in here, he's a mid-year enrollee at quarterback, is obviously huge. When you add him and Ethan Crawford together, you're talking about two young guys that are unbelievably highly rated recruits that every group of 5 in America wanted. So getting him in here is going to be huge to compete at the quarterback position, to add 4 O-linemen, 3 that are mid-year enrollees, to go along with a lot of really good young O-linemen that we're so excited about. The competition there is going to be great. At tight end, when you talk about Teron Bedford, we felt like one of the top transfer tight ends available to get him here at mid-year. And then Reed Jeselowski, MAIS Player of the Year, really added a lot of explosive ability and good tight end play to that room. Jalen Washington at running back, high-level football player, highly recruited kid. Excited to be getting him in here. He's a mid-year enrollee. And then added 2 more wideouts, Keyshawn Buckley, who's a mid-year enrollee, and TK Keys from Taylorsville to help. We'll probably add some more wideouts over the next few days that are mid-year enrollees to add more depth there. Defensively, man, we continue to be D-line U at group of 5. When you look at Miles Adams, Zay Lowry, Caleb Moore, Jalen Owens, Aaron Travis, as high school kids, I can't imagine a better group of 5 D-line class. Glenn, you and Heath, you guys, y'all have to look that up. I mean, those guys, I don't see how you'd sign a better group of 5 D-line class than them. Several of them are mid-year enrollees. And then to add Jameer Lewis and Ryan Johnson on the edge, because we're going to a 4-man front defensive scheme, which I love. That's what I've been in my past. when we were so successful at my other stops. And Ryan and Jameer are mid-year enrollees that are high-level players that can really pass rush off the edge. And then at linebacker, man, to bring in a guy like Chris Jones, we think is a guy that's going to step in this summer and have a chance to play right away. A leader, great leadership ability, and can really play out of Hartfield. And then Trey Pinckney from Coastal is a guy that's played in this league. We coached against him 2 years ago. Brings some older development right there. We may look to add one more older linebacker as we go through this process. At DB, when you look at Venoris Cheney out of Noxubee County and Hines, and Will James from Mississippi State, another Mobile product, bringing in Jordan Johnson from Mississippi Delta and Jamaris Lewis from New Mexico, and then Damian Miller from Port Gibson. All 5 of those guys are mid-year enrollees, to add to our DB room, so intense competition back there. And, we added 2 kickers that were really fired up about, 2 kickers and punters that were extremely highly recruited. Credit to Greg Meyer recruiting them. And so as far as needs, Glenn, we'd like to add another older linebacker if we can. We would add more. We're going to add some more receivers for sure. We're chasing several of them right now. I think you always add an older quarterback if you can find one that's a high-level player. You never turn those guys down. And then with any other spot available, we would just take a player that's an upgrade. I think in this day and age, you never turn down an opportunity to upgrade with the way you can fluctuate the roster. It's like the NFL now, right? Both ways. So if we can upgrade, we'll upgrade. And there's still some guys out there, and excited about it.
Coach Hall, is there any area in which your recruiting emphasis changed because of the coordinators coming in? Maybe you hit areas that they may wanted a little more of at this position or that position. Did that change anyway with the new coordinators?
No, Heath, I don't think so. We're still being 11 personnel based offense, and we played a lot of 4 down, specifically late in the year last year defensively. So we were so deep into it that, I don't think we ever changed as far as that's concerned. We knew what we needed from a personnel standpoint, me and Joe and Coach Stringer. We kind of knew what we laid out. And then we still recruited our footprint. You know what I mean? Like it was still, whether it was portal, whether it was JUCO, whether it was high school, it was our footprint. We dipped out of our footprint for a guy like Zach Conti. Like I've told y'all, when a great player comes available that you have a connection to, you've got to attack that. And I think Sam Gregg and Ben Thomas did a great job finding Zach. And but we attacked our footprint like we always do, and we're excited about it.
Sam, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, well, kind of touched on it there in your opening statement, but you feel like a handful of programs, if across the country at any levels, if they endured kind of a similar season to what you guys went through, it could have possibly just blown up the recruiting class or something like that. But that doesn't really seem like that was the case. So why do you think that happened? And how much time did you maybe have to spend, or your staff spend, recruiting guys that were already committed, if that makes any sense?
Yeah. Again, Sam, I just think, I know maybe for you who's just now getting to know me, I just think the reputation that this staff has built with the way we've treated kids for 15 plus years throughout this area continues to resonate. Coaches want their players to play for us because of how we treat them and the way we do it. And then our players that are on our team sell it as well. And if you dig deep into our program, you can see that we're not far away from being really good. We're 5 or 6 plays away from having a great year last year. And we inherited a situation that was bleak in all facets. We fixed it. And this was our 3rd recruiting class. And I think the future is very bright. And obviously a lot of other people feel that way too, because they really wanted to jump on board and join us when they had a lot of other options. So when I came here, I said, we've got to stop recruiting people that only have Southern Miss offers. because that is what had been happening. We've got to win in recruiting, and for the third straight year, we've won in recruiting. And I think all our young talent is not going to be young anymore next year. And, you know, I think we're going to start reaping the rewards of that.
Andrew, go ahead.
Hey, Will, could you speak on the three Oak Grove guys that you guys are signing, just kind of on them individually and just kind of what they've done as a program? I mean, they're going to have 6 kids signing Division I today.
Yeah, Drew's done a great job. And I don't know if you know this, not Andrew, but Drew played college football with me at North Alabama. He played guard and tackle on that great team. I think a lot of Drew and his family. His wife was also in a lot of my math classes and stuff there. And great family. He's done a phenomenal job there. They got players. They got them coming. They're not going to stop. We're excited about Caleb. Caleb's an older kid that's 19 already, really mature young man on the D-line, mid-year enrollee that comes in seasoned and dynamic player. Jalen Owens is younger. He's 17, so he's not done growing. He's got a lot of size throughout his family and his genes. We think he's not a finished product, and the sky's the limit for him and what he can grow and become. And then Luke was without question the best kicker in the state of Mississippi. Everybody knew that. All his kickoffs went out of the end zone. All his extra points went over the net. He's also got great punting ability, and we just think he is a dynamic talent as well. And we're excited about all 3 of them. We've signed really good players from Oak Grove since we've been here, you know, and we really appreciate Drew and the relationship that we've got, and hope to continue to work through that.
Keith, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, you really hit the MAIS recruiting really hard. You have since you've been here, but the guys you got coming in from Jackson, that football up there is really good. You talk about maybe Jezelowski, tight end, 200. Right now he's a little over 200 pounds, but how much weight do y'all think you could add to him, and what can he be at a tight end position with his athletic skills?
Yeah, Heath, we're really excited about him. And, you know, Chip Long, who's going to coach tight ends, Chip's put so many NFL tight ends into the league. Was one of the, you know, arguably the best tight end coach resume in the country. And, man, Reed is a young man that we think can carry 225 to 235. He's going to be 220 quickly. He will eventually grow into that 230 to 235 range as he matures into a man. He will start off in more of a skill type role as a tight end and progress to being a complete tight end. We think he can be a group of 5 Brock Bowers type. We really do. I think the sky's the limit for him. Talking about relationships, his mom babysat me and my sister growing up, and his dad was his uncle was my first quarterback, was my dad's first quarterback at Amory, was my first hero, and his dad played hockey in Tupelo and used to work out with me and stuff in the summer. So I've known them. It's been fun to watch him grow and develop. And he was the most dynamic player in the state of Mississippi this year, probably, and got a bright future. You want to go, Taylor?
Yes, sir. Well, Coach, obviously, the past few years, the run game has been a strength of y'all's, and now that Frank's leaving, I wonder what, you know, your thoughts on that room, and maybe what these 2 new guys you signed, how they kind of fit into that whole running back room.
Yeah, so we just signed 1 running back. Like I said, Jezelowski will be a tight end. Jalen Washington is an early enrollee in January. He's going to be a dynamic player. But we got Drake Clark back, Kenyon Clay back, and JQ Gray back, and Chandler Pittman back. So, like, we're loaded in that room, and you add Jalen to it. We led the league in rushing in conference games. You know, Chip's coming in. We want to be more explosive. We also want to create more loose plays on the perimeter. And I know what Chip's excited about our talent and what we can do with it moving forward. And we think we're really, really good in the running back room.
Dama?
Hey, Coach. Good morning. Wanted to talk about the offensive line commits. Got several of them. I think that was very key in this class, starting especially with Hastings Kurth coming along. Can you just talk about that?
Yeah, from the moment I got here, we've talked about, O-line is a developmental position. And y'all know we have signed highly recruited O-linemen in our first two classes. We've been able to redshirt for the most part and develop and grow. And those young guys, man, in that room can really play. But we are young there. We felt like we did need to get a little bit older. And so when you bring in Caruth, who's a big tackle, who's got 3 years left, but he's been in college 2 years. When you bring in Zach Conte, who started a bunch of games at Eastern Michigan, has got 1 year left, and then Greg Nunnery, who we thought Greg Nunnery was the best O-lineman in the Mississippi JUCOs, and to be able to hold on to him and keep him through a lot of highly recruited, contest on him was big. And, Conte's from out of our footprint. Like I said, Coach Greg and Coach Thomas did a great job recruiting him. And then Nunnery and Caruth are both from Southwest Mississippi. And it was great to get those two guys. Caruth played at Park Lane, Nunnery played at Macomb. And to get some guys from that area back into our program was huge as well. And then Larry Edwards, guys, you talking about a guy that's 6'4.5", whose wingspan would have put him, I think, third in the NFL Combine last year. We think he's another one of those developmental guys that's got a bright, bright future.
Heath, you got another question?
Yeah, this is my last one. Talk about the secondary. You had so many injuries last year. You got some portal guys coming in, James from Mississippi State. Talk about your secondary and how you feel right there going forward.
Yeah, Heath, that was something I talked about during the season. It was hard to go through, but we'd reap the rewards of it in the future. So it was kind of a dual-edged sword looking at it. We had to sign some mid-year enrollees to be able to have competition in the spring. And then you look at it in the summer when all these injured guys are back off the disabled list and are cleared in the summer, we're going to be super deep and super competitive once the summer hits, because you talk about these 5 guys that are early enrollees, they can play. And y'all know we finished the year playing well back there. And then we got 4 guys coming back from season-ending injuries in the summer. So we'll be extremely deep right there. Competition, the cream will have to rise to the top, and we're pumped about our overall depth. Dwight Wilson did an incredible job with that group, and it was awesome to see it come together.
Let's go back to Taylor and then Scott Watkins after that.
Coach, I just wonder if you can comment briefly on the 2 coordinators you've hired, Coach Bignell and Coach Long, and just how excited you are to have them aboard on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, really excited. I was very thorough in my process, and they're 2 guys that I've never worked with, but I've heard a lot about through the years, and it became clear to me through the interviewing process they were both leaders. They both have dynamic presences to them, and they've both done it at a high level. And it's just been great to have them around. Like I said, Chip really solidified this tight end recruiting class. And then Clay has just been awesome. And we're getting back to defensively, the 4-2-5 model that I ran when I was a head coach at West Alabama and West Georgia. And we led the league in defense. And he's excited about being here. And then Chip, has just been a dynamic play caller everywhere he's been. Even at the places where it didn't work out, he made their offenses better. And so what they've done at Louisville this year, he's been with Coach Brom, been his right-hand man. I mean, to win 10 games in year 1, so excited about getting them both in here, and think they're going to be, just what we need.
All right, Scott.
Hey, Coach, I know you talked a little bit about the kickers. I wanted to get your thoughts specifically on Bart Edmiston out of Jones College.
Yeah, Bart Edmiston. Yeah, excited about Bart. Great kicker out of Ocean Springs, then went to Jones and had a great year as well. highly recruited kid, man. Golly, Greg Meyer battled to get Bart here. He and Luke both, man, but both of them we're bringing in are just tremendously talented kids from our footprint. And I think Bart's got a chance to be a really good player as a punter, as well as a kicker. And excited to get him. Comes from a great family and going to bring a lot to the table. He'll be here in January, and we're excited to watch him compete. He's a needed. Both of him and Luke are just needed talents, in those room for competition.
Coach, could you hit on the high school kids who will enroll early and maybe touch on where you're at with finishing your staff with a D-line or a outside linebackers coach?
Yeah, so we've made a decision on a D-line coach. We're going to hold that for a lot of different reasons, out of respect for where they're coming from and all those things. And then I'll be solidifying, there's going to be a lot of coaching. The coaching carousel will heat up tonight on into tomorrow. That's when the coaching carousel hits its next run. So, like I said, I was holding that one spot to make sure that our staff and our program was protected through all the movement to give me more flexibility and movement. So we'll address that last spot over the next few days. And then if we have some coaching changes, some more, I'll address them as they come like I always do, because the volatile time of the coaching circuit is going to hit. It's probably hitting as we're doing this call right now, to be honest with you. So, but yeah. And then what else you ask me? Oh, the high school mid-year enrollees.
Exactly.
Okay, so John White's a mid-year enrollee. High school wise, Jalen Washington is. Caleb Moore and Jalen Owens are. Zay Lowry is planning to be. There's still a little more stuff to do there. Damian Miller is. Yep.
Guys, any more questions?
We
If
can
not,
go a little-
we'll end it
we-
there.
We can
Well,
go a
Coach-
little bit. We can go a little bit longer now, guys.
Coach, I'll ask you about your defensive line, the defensive linemen you've signed. I believe all of them are coming right out of high school. But how much do you feel like those guys are ready to compete right away, when they get on campus and contribute right away?
Yeah, so the mid-year enrollees, obviously they'll go through spring, and then Miles Adams out of Flomaton, Alabama, unbelievable talent, size, length, dominated camp. And then Aaron Travis is a young man that tore his knee up late in his high school career in the semifinals for Grenada, that great run Coach Fair and those guys had at Grenada. So, he's had his surgery and he's recovering from that. So he'll be, we'll probably have to, we'll probably redshirt him and develop him slow like we do, but he's a tremendous talent. All those guys are talented, Taylor. We're also blessed to have an unbelievable D-line coming back, but y'all know since I've been here, I've preached, we've got to get to where there's so much competition in the room that if somebody doesn't bring it, they get beat out. That's how you get good. And, that's what we're about. I mean, that's where we've gotten it to now. And I can't wait for spring and to watch it all shake out at all positions.
Coach, can I ask one last question right quick?
Yes.
If you don't mind. Of the high school guys you got coming in, and you may not can say, but in your mind, how many of those do you actually have maybe a chance of playing quality minutes next year, coming in with these high school guys? Because you really got some good ones.
Yeah. I mean, Heath, you know how I'm going to answer that, man, is they're going to be given a chance to compete. We've got an old team coming back. Y'all know that. We're not young anymore. Thank you, Jesus. But these guys can really play, and they're going to be given a chance right away. And so if they're the best, they'll play. If they're not the best, they won't. And, You know, a lot of people think coaches decide who plays, but players decide who plays. You know, I mean, coaches play the guy that gives them the best chance to win. And that's certainly, you know, what we'll do.
Any more guys?